So first of all, thank you so much, Christiana, for having us here and taking your precious time out in a very busy schedule. As you know, last time we met in Tianjin. Since then, we've had a lot of new faces and, of course, old faces that you see. So we're just going to do one quick round of introductions, starting from Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea, and I'm from Mexico. I'm tracking the Mexican delegation.
I'm Alex. I'm from the U.S.
I'm Anna from the UK. I'm Joanna from Canada.
I'm Leela from India.
I'm Andrea from Italy.
I'm Thomas from France.
I'm Phil from Australia.
Laura from South Africa.
I'm Emily from China.
Very good. Good. Nice, nice mixture.
Okay, so first of all, we'd like to thank you for the great amount of inspiration you've been for us. Seeing how boring and tedious and bluish these negotiations can be. You changed our perspective, you reinstilled our faith in the process, and I think we're really hoping that you do it again for us. We have Andrea with our first question.
Okay, I would like to ask you, what is your inspiration and what is it that moves you?
It's you.
It's you, it's the next generation.
Look, we're doing this. Gracias. We're doing this, but this has nothing to do with us. This is all about you. It's all about you. We're the ones who've caused the problem, but you're the ones who are going to have to pay for it, right? And the fact is, I'm the mother of 2 women about your age. And I realized many years ago that I had inherited a planet that was a diminished planet. And that if I didn't do something about it, my daughters would grow up in a planet that had been severely diminished by what we're doing. And I just can't look at my daughters in the eyes and not do whatever I can. So it's you. It's about the kind of planet that you're going to have, it's honestly not my planet, it's yours, okay? We borrowed it from you for a few minutes, but you will take it over very soon because it's yours and you will have to give it over to your children. And if we all don't do the best that we can, honestly, there's no perfect job here, okay? Nothing that we're gonna do here in Cancun is gonna be perfect, so don't expect perfection. Nothing is going to be, highly ambitious, nothing. Everything here is going to be one step, and everything is going to be insufficient. But it is the best that this group of people, under these circumstances, with these political constraints, in this economic environment, can do for the time being. And then, as soon as this finishes, we have to start pushing for the next step. And so it goes. But each one of us that is here has the moral responsibility to ensure that we are doing the absolute best that we can at that moment, under those circumstances. So what inspires me? It's you.
Yes.
Leela's speechless, guys. Okay, to get into a little lighter mood, Andrea has a bit more fun question.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Don't ask me that question anymore because.
My question was about your highlight of the COP16, or what is going to be the highlight of the COP16. And I can tell you that for a couple of us, the highlight was the reception we had last night at the Cancun Year Conference.
In Tianjin, it was the karaoke.
Oh, in Tianjin, it was the karaoke. Okay, well, I missed the karaoke in Tianjin, so I made sure that I did not miss this reception. Honestly, the Mexicans have done a fabulous job, right? I mean, they have just, they have put heart and soul into preparing this, this session. They have done a fabulous job in rekindling faith and trust into the process. And the highlight for me is actually the meeting itself, because it comes as the climax of 12 months of very, very hard work of many people who realized after Copenhagen that we were in big problem. And I think the meeting itself is an expression of the hope of so many people that we can't allow for things like Copenhagen to ever happen again. We need to take small steps, but every year there has to be one step taken.
Yeah, you've already answered a little bit of my question, but I was going to ask about the politics versus the process, because obviously your father was a very famous politician in Costa Rica, but you chose to go into the process. So I was just wondering why, and like why we can have faith in the process.
I guess my father worked on the national level. He was, well, he is the founder of modern Costa Rica and of democracy and of ensuring that Costa Ricans would have a sustainable country politically, economically. And he laid very, very important foundations for that. He rewrote the constitution that is being used in Costa Rica now. And I don't see myself doing something that is so different than that. It's just that the platform that I have chosen for my work is the multilateral platform. But I'm also trying to establish what I can do, contribute to what I can do to ensure that, in this case, citizens of the world have a good shot at a stable economic, environmental context from which to build and from which to derive their welfare. So it's not that difference, it's just different in the platform. But I find my father actually inspiring me very often, because my father never took no for an answer. He always, you know, whatever wall was there is just there to be climbed and jumped over. And so I guess I have a little bit of that revolutionary spirit also in me.
I was wondering, Christiana, if you could speak about some climate change impacts which you've witnessed personally and how this has impacted people who are vulnerable.
When I was very young, there was a golden toad that was a little toad about so big that was endemic to one of the rainforests in Costa Rica, Monteverde. And it was an absolutely spectacular toad. It was almost, it would almost shine at night, and in the moonlight it was just absolutely spectacular. And when that toad went into its mating season, it was just spectacular to see all of these little, they looked like little golden coins, okay? Spectacular. By the time my daughters reached the same age in which I saw the toads, those toads no longer existed. So I have seen the disappearance of a species in my lifetime, hence the story of the diminished planet. That's when I realized that I was inheriting a diminished planet. If I in my lifetime have seen the extinction of a species, and my daughters will never have that opportunity of seeing that little toad. And that made a huge impact on me. That really clicked for me, like, whoa, we are giving a planet that is diminished to our kids. And I mean, you can take that, you know, as an example of many other diminishing factors that this planet now has because of what we have done to the planet. So yeah, and then you can take, you know, anything else. I mean, you see natural events that are completely beyond any historical proportions. The floods in Pakistan are probably the latest, most painful examples of natural events that are not natural in the sense that they don't have a historical precedent and that they're highly likely influenced by climate. So yes, and I'm sure all of you have stories to tell. The butterflies in Michoacan are having a hard time getting around the cycle that they need to Canada and back in a certain time period because the temperatures are changing and they're affected like any other animal. I mean, you can take anything, you know. In Costa Rica, we have trees that are migrating. So yes, animals can migrate, but even plants can migrate. So we have one national park that is in a very low-lying area. And because the temperatures are going up, one very lucid biologist, Dr. Dan Jansen, began to purchase for the park land that goes up the mountain because he could see that climate change was coming. And what is he seeing now? That some of the plants that used to live down in this low latitude are actually migrating up the mountain because it's too hot for them down at those altitudes. And I mean, the evidence of climate is all over. It is all over. And you can, I'm sure you have your own stories. So this is not, this is not an invention. This is happening, and we need to do something about it.